Start. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Bhaja Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. हरे नाम संकीर्तन महोत्सव की जय, भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रबंध की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरे हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासां ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. So today we shall be taking text 17 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, entitled The Change in Heart. Very lovely shloka being quoted, cited by hundreds and thousands of Vaishnavas around the world. You must have heard it many, many times during your stay or your in Krishna consciousness. It says, Ayurharati vai pumsam udyanastam chayannasau tasharate yachino nita uttama shloka vartaya. Ayurharati vai pumsam udyanastam chayannasau tasharate yachino nita uttama shloka vartaya. Ayurharati vai pumsam udyanastam chayannasau tasharate yachino nita uttama shloka vartaya. Synonym by Srila Prabhupada. Ayuhu, duration of life. Harati, decreases. Vai, certainly. Pumsam, of the people. Udhyan, rising. Astam, setting. Cha, also. Yan, moving. Aso, the sun. Tasya, of one who glorifies the Lord. Rite, except. Yat, by whom. Kshanaha, time. Nitaha, utilized. Uttama shloka, the all good personality of Godhead. Vartaya, in topic, in the topics of. Translation purport by His Divine Grace. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all good personality of Godhead. Purport: if your book read along me, if not, then please listen very attentively. This verse indirectly confirms the greater importance of utilizing the human form of life to realize our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord by acceleration of devotional service. Time and tide wait for no one. So, the time indicates by the sunrise and the sunset will be uselessly wasted if such time is now not properly utilized for realizing identification of spiritual values. Even a fraction of duration of life wasted cannot be compensated by any amount of gold. Human life is simply rewarded to the living entity, Jiva, so that he can realize his spiritual identity and his permanent source of happiness. A living being, especially the human being, is seeking happiness because happiness is the natural situation of the living entity. But he is vainly seeking happiness in a material atmosphere. A living being is constitutionally a spiritual spark of the complete whole, and his happiness can be perfectly perceived in spiritual activities. The Lord is a complete spirit whole, and his name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, and personality are all identical with him. Once a person comes into contact with any one of the above mentioned energies of the Lord through the proper channel of devotional service, the door to perfection is immediately opened. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.40, the Lord has explained such contact in the following words. Endeavors in devotional service are never baffled, nor is there failure. A slight beginning of such activities is sufficient even to deliver a person from the great ocean of material fear. As a highly potent drug injected intravenously acts at once on the whole body, the transcendental topics of the Lord injected through the ear of the pure devotees of the Lord can act very efficiently. Oral realization of the transcendental message implies total realization, just as fructification of the one part of a tree implies fructification of all the parts. This realization for the moment in the association of pure devotees like Sukadeva Goswami prepares one's complete life to eternity. And thus, the sun fails to rob the pure devotees of his duration of life, inasmuch as he is constantly busy in the devotional service of the Lord, purifying his existence. Death is the symptom of the material infection of the eternal living being only due to material infection in the eternal living entity subjected to the laws of birth, death, old age, and disease. The materialistic way of pious activities like charity is recommended in the Smriti Shastra as quoted by Srila Vishwanatha Chakrabarti Thakur. Money given in charity to a suitable person is guaranteed bank balance in the next life. Such charity is recommended to be given to a Brahmana. If the money is given in charity to a non-Brahmana without Brahmanical qualification, the money is returned in the next life in the same proportion. If it is given in charity to a half-educated Brahmana, even then the money is returned back double. If the money is given in charity to a learned and fully qualified Brahmana, the money is returned in 100 and 1,000 times. And if the money is given to a Veda Paranga, one who has factually realized the path of Vedas, it is returned by unlimited multiplication. The ultimate end of the Vedic knowledge is realization of the personhood of Godhead, Lord Krishna, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Vedesh cha sarvair aham evya vedyah. Bhagavad Gita 15:15. There is a guarantee of money is being returned if given in charity, regardless of the proportion. Similarly, a moment passed in the association of a pure devotee by hearing and chanting the transcendental message of the Lord is a perfect guarantee for eternal life, for returning back home, back to Godhead. Madhama gatva punarjanma na vidyate. In other words, A devotee of the Lord is guaranteed eternal life. A devotee's old age or disease in the person's life is but an impetus to such guaranteed eternal life. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुमन्तमयनं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथा मह्यं ददाति सुपतन्तिकं वन्देयं श्रीगुरुश्रुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपति गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त गजन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वांशा कल्पतरुवेश्य कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण विष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिनिति नामने नमाचार्य पादाय निताय कृपा वरदायने गौरकथादामदाय नगर ग्रंथाणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण विष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्त वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणी निर्विशेषण्यवादी पाशेदिताणे। जय शिल प्रभुपाद। So by the anukampa of Srila Prabhupada, blessings of the Gurujanan and Vaishnavas, and by your association, our Nityam Bhagavata Seva is going on. And today we are hearing from Saunaka. This is the realization of Saunaka. This is called self-realization. And he is saying, confirming, Ayur Harati Vepumsam. The lifespan is taken away of the people in general. Udhyan astam chayanaso, by rising and setting of the sun. Tashyarate yat chanonita uttama slokavartaya. But not of those who are engaged in discussion of Harikatha. So this is a self-realization of Sri Saunaka. And by hearing this, Suta Goswami became very happy that, oh, they are really listening properly. This somewhat is again a culmination of devotional service. So, Tasyarate Kshano Nita Uttama Shloka Bhartaya. You must have seen so many yogis or Vedantists, they live long. Now, living long is not that great. Living long without the problem of Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik and Yadhyatmik. You see, one may live long, but will be free from these three miseries of the material world. But the devotees do. They are free from all these diseases. Adi Bhautik, Adi Yadmik and Adi Daivik. So every minute, every second is invested in listening, talking, reading, appreciating, joining the Harikatha or Harinam Kirtan or Nagar Kirtan or so-called big distribution. So that particular amount of time invested is not taken as an ayu. Let us say if somebody has to live 70 years of his age. So the quota is 70 years, cannot be more than 70 years. But if by the providence of the will, he has spent 2, 3, 4 years in discussion of Harikatha, propagating the holy name of the Lord, serving the Vaishnava and the devotees. Let's say 2 years, so his lifespan becomes 72 years. But counting only 70. But 2 they are not counted at all. It's called a bonus. So Ayur Harati. See how happy we become when we celebrate our birthdays and anniversaries and we really like and we appreciate and we clap and we dance. Actually not knowing that the air has been reduced from my life. Anyway, it's not that everybody should know it, but let that Vaishnava they know it. Why they're jumping around? Now, you might say, then why we celebrate these? The Vaishnavas, what do you call in Hindi, very nice, Avirbhav and Tirobhav. Why do you do that? Because there is not much difference between the Krishna and the Vaishnavas. Therefore, celebrating Avirbhav and Tirobhav of the Vaishnavas also will not be counted in our year, in our life. And the life will be free from problem. I remember I must have told you this. Hariswari Prabhu was saying, that time, there was not any one disease that was not in the body of Srila Prabhupada. But he was never disturbed. He had never gone to the hospital, maybe just once in USA, that's it. Just once. He had never been to the hospital. And he said he had all the problems. And he has enthusiastically writing the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam with the same mood, with the same thought, carrying out the orders of Professor Acharyas. So this is the proof that the slokas, they stand. Udyanasta Chainaso. Once I was giving the class, and somebody asked me a very lovely question. He said, Prabhuji, even the rainy season, the sun is not seen, so will that day also be not counted in our life? See, for sometimes 6-7 days you don't see the sun. I told him, you have not seen the sun, but sun has risen and sun has set. So it is counted. But if we have not seen, I say it doesn't really matter. Whether you have seen or you have not seen. The time is gone by. Huh? So therefore, think of situation, why Krishna is saying to Arjuna, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manushmara. Why is he saying that? Why is giving this instruction? Think of me. So long you live free from all material problems. That's another beauty of the devotional service. I think I must have given more than once or twice the example of the temple of Sinnaji in Bahrain. And the Pujari, he has confessed to me that I have been blessed by Sinnaji that for the last of 40 years, I have never ever missed any Mangalarti. Never had any fever, no cold, no cough, nothing of the sort. I'm just coming, doing my seva except when he goes on leave. So that is another example that those who are engaged in the service of the Lord, generally this bodily element doesn't disturb them. And let us say even the bodily, like Guru Maharaj, is in a problem, bodily problem, but mentally sound. Everything intact. With same zeal, same enthusiasm, he is preaching the glories of the Lord. Even when he is going to the bed, nowadays he is listening the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. लगन लगी हरि नाम की भवसागर तर जाए. I don't know when we will really come to understanding now how important the devotional service is for the self, for the family, for our ancestor, and for coming generation. It's not only for the self, for every one of them. And as the sloka is there, bhog vilas katu lagat nahi. But those who are drowned in the material bhavasagara, bhog and vilasa, they don't find this bitter. They enjoy it. You know what? When people drink, some of you may be knowing, it has a very bitter taste. Really bitter taste. But then after some time, you like the taste. So, bhoga vilas katu lagat nahi. This is a problem because we become accustomed and then we think, this is the best way of life. But save and accept, we are doing Hari Katha. In congregation, in seclusion, in any state of blind. We say, no, Tasmat Bhara Sarvatmana, Harihi Sarvatra Sarvada. Sarvatra, everywhere and every time. How many janmas we may have passed down here? Very difficult to even count and to understand. Many, many janmas. Why? Because we are Nityabadha. Now we have come back to senses. So we have to, they say, Utishta Jagritaha. Not only you have to get up. You must have seen when the children, they have to go to school and 5 and 6 row they have to catch the bus. So they become Utishta. They get up from the bed, but they are not Jagrata. They are sitting on the bed and still sleeping. So we are like that. We have got up, but still sleeping. Sleeping in the lap of Maya. So Jagrataha. Then only we can understand. Otherwise, as Prabhupada is saying, every second wasted, you cannot claim it back with any amount of gold that one may have. So, sadhu sang sarva shastra kaya, lava matra sadhu sang sarva siddhi haya. And what is sarva siddhi? Not that you get a money and fame and possession. No, you remembrance of Krishna throughout. So this is so very important. They are the sloka that we have to carry in our tongue, in our act, that the moment I pass by without Krishna consciousness, even except when you are sleeping, that's the nature, that's our karya. But the karma, I hope you know the difference between the kriya and karma. Kriya is going on, but the karma, we should not waste available time. We know how valuable was the time when Khadvanga was informed he has only one ghadi, 24 minutes to leave the body. So he came down and within 12 minutes, he accomplished everything. And what was that? Remembrance of Krishna. And the most easiest thing in life is remembrance of Krishna. Once Uddhava told these gopis that you are thinking of Krishna too much, why don't you forget him? Just forget him. He's a cheater number one, I know that and you know that. Forget him. They said, we try to forget him, but we can't forget him. And contrary to us, we try to remember Krishna, why can't remember Krishna? What a duality is of the material nature. So let us pick and choose what is good for me. Do I want to stay here? Today I was discussing with my son, and he was giving the analogy of material world. He said material world is like a plane. And in plane there is a section. Economy, business class and first class. Now the people in business class or first class or economy, they have one destination. And destination is to leave the place and to go to other place. Same destination. But let us suppose from Qatar is 14 hours to New York. The person in economy, they'll be really tired. They'll be pacing, going up and down. Their neck will be paining, the back will be paining. In the same plane, those are in business class, first class, they have lavishly, they're enjoying. So it's the same thing, this first class and business class, you can understand, Swarga, and the economic class has a Bhuloka, where there are only problems. Even suppose you go to sleep and you put a neck one side, when you wake up, your neck pains a lot. But then when the time comes, everybody will get down. So the people in the first class and business class, they are not hurrying getting down. They are enjoying. But we are, economic class, we are hurrying getting down. Oh my God. Let me go to the home and to hotel and extend my body. See, everything is same, but there are more facilities. Here are less facilities. So when there are less facilities, then what do we do? But the only one, the facility here, that is Kalodose Nidhi Rajan Asti Go Mahan Gunan Kirtana Dev Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Prambrajit. Another one, Srimad Bhagavatam tells us, Evam Prasanna Manuso Bhagavat Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavat Tattva Vignanam Mukta Sangha Jayate. Evam Prasanna Manuso. While doing devotion, are we really happy? Don't you get up in the morning and say, oh my God, I have to do arti, I have to do abhishekam, oh, I have to do chanting, I have to make prasadam. So it is not prasanna manaha, it is dukhi manaha. I'm in general, I'm talking about you, or the great Vaishnavas, I'm generally saying dukhi manaha. It's because, oh Prabhu, still I have not finished my round. Isn't it? Not prasanna manaha, dukhi manaha. Evam prasanna manuso bhagavad bhakti yogataha. Bhagavad tattva vignanam. The tattva of Krishna, as he says, janma karma chame divyam. Evam yo vedi tattvataha. The tattva we are talking about. Bhagavad tattva vignanam. The tattva bhagavatam or Bhagavan is vijnana. Mukta sangha jayate. Then only we can get rid of this sangha, not of the people, the bad habit that we have got. Sometimes people think that, oh, my neighborhood, my this, my that. No, not that sangha. The sangha dusi vichar that we have got. We can get rid of it. That's the beauty of Mukta Sangha Prajayate. Now, Bhagavatam has everything. Positive and negative both, provided if you want to accept, provided if you want to walk the talk. We have become expert in listening. We have become expert in talking. Like yesterday I was telling these people, you can learn horse riding by jnana and vijnana. Jnana is you take the book, and from the book you know how to put the saddle, how to put the rein, how to jump on the horse, and how to kick it and he'll walk. It's called jnana. But that's not all. Until unless you have a real horse, real saddle, real reins, and then you are trying to climb up on the horse, but making sure don't go behind the horse, otherwise he'll kick you. They say, a thoughtful person never stand in front of the king and at the back of the horse. Never stay in front of the king or the boss. If you stand in front of the boss, he may give you so many instructions, so many work to do. He may load you, so many work. So in front of the boss or the king or at the back of the horse, you cannot. But the book does not say don't stand at the back of the horse. So this is called jnana and vijnana. Srimad Bhagavata are teaching us more of vijnana and less of jnana. Ayur harati vaipumsam uddhanasta chenasav tasarte kshano nita uttama sloka vartaya. We are talking about kshana. You know, sometimes we sneeze. You say, Krishna. That is counted. And that kshana, how many times you have sneezed in your lifetime, it becomes more than 1 or 2 hours, so that is added in your life. And that you again free from all the problems. So this is called kshana. In Hindi they say, साधु का एक क्षण और अन्न का एक कण कभी बर्बाद न कीजिए. Never waste one moment's association. They say, bho bho he sadho kshanam drishtva. Kshana, even once macrosecond, we happen to see a Vaishnava. Well, we must have some greatest of tapa in our life that we have seen the Vaishnava. And Anna, that has come on our plate. Never ever even throw it, one speck of it. One day, I was in Bahrain. I had a very good friend of mine, his name is Uttama Krishna. He was sitting nearby me. And when prasadam being served, in the dal, he got 2 chilies. 2 chilies nearby me. So as usual, he put the 2 chilies but one side. I said, Uttama, what happened? Well, the chili. I said, this is Mahaprasada, my dear. Eat it up. He had those chilies. And then it vowed in his life that never ever I'll sit beside you for having prasada. I'll not sit beside you. What is this? I said, just have it. So the question is, well, it is troublesome. I told him, this is called tapa. Having 2 chilies, you are doing no tapa. Whole night you'll do the tapa. We really become very choosy. And I didn't, do you think that these chilies are not Mahaprasada? So sometimes we joke, is understanding. So this way we can understand, really, we have to regulate our life. Nobody will help us except my jnana, my vijnana. Nobody will help us. Nor a father or a mother or a guru or a wife or a child. Nobody. They will simply tell you, do like this, do like this. Example is that when the birds are up, flying up in the sky, sometimes these falcons, they fly for maybe 1,000, 2,000 kilometers from one continent to another continent. Now everybody is of their own. They can simply say, flap your wing like that. That's it. Nothing more than that. Nobody can fly for others. So similarly, the devotional service is for the self, for my understanding, for my practical application. Speaking may be good, but more of practical application. And that's what it is. Now we leave it to you, whether you want to waste your time or you want to invest your time. Uttama Sloka Vartaya. The Harinam week is going on. Of course, you may be chanting on your beats, but even otherwise, how can you dedicate yourself for becoming fully Krishna conscious? At least 18 hours a day, living beyond 6 hours that you are sleeping. And that's what to aim for. So I think with this, I'll come to the conclusion of my talk. If you permit me, I can speak maybe 10 minutes about appearance of Vaman Deva. If you think you have a time, if you think no is all right, then okay, it's all right.